You're watching the Central Post. This is Sharjeel. Today, the Supreme Court of India has delivered a closely watched ruling in the case linked to alleged larger conspiracy behind the February 2020 Northeast Delhi riots. A case that has, for years now, sat at intersections of law, politics, and civil liberties. A bench comprising Justices Arvind Kumar and N.V. Anjaria refused to grant regular bail to activist Umar Khalid and Sharjeel Imam, observing that there is prima facie material against them under the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act or UAPA. The court noted that the allegations against the two were not identical or secondary in nature. Instead, it held that their alleged roles were central and formative, placing them on a qualitatively different footing from several others accused in the case. However, in the same order, the court granted conditional bail to other five accused. Gulfisha Fatima, Mehran Haider, Shifaur Rahman, Mohammad Salim Khan and Shadab Ahmed. The bench clarified that while relief was being extended to them, the case against Khalid and Imam would require a longer judicial examination. Both Khalid and Imam have now been given the liberty to reapply for bail after 1 year or once the examination of protected witness is completed, whichever happens earlier. Umar Khalid, who has been in judicial custody since September 2020, reportedly responded with a mix of quiet acceptance and emotional restraint. In a conversation with his partner, Jyotsna Lahiri, he said he felt genuine happiness and relief for the co-accused who had finally been granted bail after years behind bars. Yet, reflecting on his own suffering, he added one line that many felt deeply unsettling. Jail is my life now, ab yahi zindagi hai. Around the same time, an unexpected international connection drew fresh attention to the case. In December 2025, the New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani sent a handwritten note to Umar Khalid, delivered through his parents. The note, which became public in the first days of January, read, "Dear Umar, I think your words on bitterness often and the importance of not letting it consume oneself. It was a pleasure to meet your parents. We are all thinking of you." The message sparked debate online, with supporters calling it an expression of solidarity, while critics questioned the optics of a foreign political figure commenting on an ongoing Indian legal case. And to understand the weight of this moment, one has to return to February 2020, when Northeast Delhi became the epicenter of one of the worst communal violence the capital has witnessed in decades. The unrest unfolded amid nationwide protest against the Citizenship Amendment Act, a law that fast-tracked Indian citizenship for non-Muslim refugees from neighboring countries. Critics argued that when viewed alongside proposals for a national register of citizens, the law risks excluding Muslims and undermining the principle of equality before the law. In the weeks leading up to the violence, the protests were largely peaceful. Most notably, the women-led sit-in at Shaheen Bagh and demonstrations in areas like Jafrabad. But beginning February 23, tensions escalated dramatically. Clashes between pro and anti-CAA groups spiraled into mob violence, spreading across neighborhoods such as Mojpur, Jafrabad, and Muzaffarabad. Stones, firearms, and petrol bombs were used, turning residential streets into battle zones. Official figures confirm 53 deaths and over 500 injuries, with reports indicating that roughly two-thirds of those killed were Muslim and one-third Hindu, including police personnel. Thousands were forced to flee their homes, and widespread arson left behind a trail of destroyed houses, shops, and places of worship, scars that many residents say are still visible years later. Prosecutors allege that Umar Khalid, Sharjeel Imam, and others were part of premeditated and coordinated conspiracy to incite this violence under the cover of protests. The prosecution has pointed to speeches, meetings, encrypted WhatsApp groups, and alleged behind-the-scenes coordination as evidence of planned attempt to inflame communal tensions. The accused, however, firmly reject these claims. They insist that their activities were limited to peaceful constitutional protest and argue that there is no direct evidence linking them to acts of violence on the ground. They have repeatedly raised concerns over the use of UAPA, saying its stringent bail provisions have resulted in prolonged incarceration without conviction, turning the process itself into punishment. The trials are still ongoing, but for now, the legal, political, and human questions surrounding this case remain far from settled. That's the picture for now. Keep watching the Central Post and we'll keep you updated with whatever else comes up.